Kindly subscribe to the channel CAT2 IM by Manoj Mahajan so that you don't miss out the XAT most expected QA question series. You can expect direct or similar questions in the XAT paper. This is your part 3. I've covered the first 10 questions in the part 1 and part 2. So do check out if you have not done till now. Let's look at question number 11. So this is the XAT previous year question. So I know that a lot of students are going to answer this mathematically. They are going to break into ranges and get the answer. But I wanted to teach you a superb method known as the distance method. So using this, you can answer such questions with ease for sure. So what we are doing is in the distance method, I'm drawing a number line. Now let's see the modulus of this x plus 7. If I look over here, this would be 0 at what, minus 7. So I'm using a coordinate minus 7 comma 0. Let's say there is a person A standing over here and this value is what? Coming out to be 0 at 8. So I'm using the coordinate 8 comma 0 and there is another person B out here. So what I'm trying to make you understand is the output of this function. Let's say I assume as y. Over here, of course, the value of y given is 16. So mod of x plus 7 plus mod of x minus 8. We have to find out the value becoming 16, sum of all the possible values. So let's understand this is nothing but if I look at calculating distance traveled by A plus distance traveled by B. Let me show you how. Let me use any value of x first. So I'm putting x as 2, let's say. So this would be what, 2 plus 7, that is 9. 2 minus 8 would give me minus 6. Modulus is what, 6. So I do get what, 15. So the same thing we can do it from here also with the distance method. So let's pick up the point on the number line 2 comma 0 out here. So I have put x as 2. So I'm using that point out here. So what is the distance traveled by A? If I look over here from here to here, if I see, that would be nothing but 9 from minus 7 to 2, and this would be nothing but 6. So A travels 9, B travels 6, so sum total is 15. So you should be able to understand that the output of this function is same as sum of the distance traveled by A and B. Now we could also get with the distance method what is the minimum value of y, which is actually the minimum distance traveled by A and B together. So that is very logically, if you can see out here, that if you pick up a point on a number line, any point you can pick up, right? So you pick up anything between this range minus 7 inclusive till 8 inclusive. So the sum total of A and B distance would be nothing but 15. So whatever distance is traveled by A or whatever traveled by B doesn't matter. Sum total will come out to be 15 and that would be the minimum value. If you choose any point beyond this range, you will find out that the sum total will come out to be more than 15. So in this question, we have to make 16. So let's pick up a point this side over here. So we have to find out the distance traveled by A and B till this point. So I know that A will travel this much distance, B will travel this much distance. So this part we already know that A would travel what, 15 to come at the point 8 comma 0. So we have to make 16. So let's subtract 15 from here. We got what, 1. Now A is here. So if you look over here, both has to travel equal distance now. So this portion and this portion, right? So both has to travel equal. So there are two people. I'll divide 1 by 2. I'll get what? 0.5. So A travels 0.5. B also travels 0.5. So this point will come out to be nothing but 8.5 comma 0. So the first solution for x is 8.5. If you substitute 8.5 in this, you will get the value as 16. So we have to find out the sum of all the possible values. So we have to look at another solution out here. So that would be this side. If I look over here, left hand side, I have. So in this case, again, the sum total I have to make is what? 16, right? So B will travel how much if I look over here to reach over here? Again, 15. So I'll subtract 15 from here. 1 would be left out. Again, both has to travel equal distance out here. So that would be 0.5. And you're looking at the left hand side out here. So being at minus 7, this coordinate would be nothing but minus 7.5. So what is the value if I calculate out here? That would be nothing but 8.5 adding with what minus 7.5. So the value comes out to be 1, which is your option B. So of course you can expect such kind of question in the XAT paper, and this is a wonderful way out. So if you do love such kind of method, please make sure that you do like the video, comment and share with the XAT aspirants. So let's look at the another question out here. So spend time with the problem so that you can understand exactly what it is, and then you can look forward to the superb trick shortcut which I'm going to apply in the compound interest question also. So one thing you need to know in the compound interest questions that geometric progression plays a vital role in terms of the series. So maybe if you're not aware of that, then probably you are missing out the super methods which I keep using in the compound interest questions. So let me make you understand that, let's say if you have a principal P, the amount after 1 year would be P into 1 plus R by 100. After 2 years, it would be what? 1 plus R by 100 square. 3 years, if I look, 1 plus R by 100 cube. So I'm just writing after fourth year, fifth year, and so on to make you understand the concept out here. So this would be 4. Let me just write a few more terms out here. So this would be, let's say, 5. And let's say this is 6. Okay. So one thing you should know is that the compound interest of the first year would be the difference of these two, right? Then compound interest of the second year would be difference of these two. Third year would be difference of these two. Fourth year would be difference of these two. Fifth year would be difference of these two. And the sixth year, if I look over here, difference of these two. Correct? So one concept everyone should know that the compound interest of first year, second year, third year, if we calculate, that would be in a geometric progression. And if you pick up any two consecutive data of that series, in that case, you'll find out that the percentage change between those two consecutive years data would be nothing but rate of interest per annum. So over here, it's a slightly difficult problem because what they have given is, let's say in the beginning, 2004, you had some principal, you invested something, right? Now they have not given for the next year, right? Over here, they are talking about 2007. So let's say 5, 6, 7. So we are not having this part and this part out here. So they're saying from 2004 to 2007, and then they're saying in the beginning of 2010, right? The accumulated interest becomes 25,000. So let me make you understand these two. Let's remove. So 2010, right? Okay. So what we are looking at now is that the difference between these two is given to us, that is 10,000. Okay. And difference between this portion and this portion is given, that is 25,000. Correct. So you can understand that difference between these two would be what? 25,000 minus 10,000, that is 15,000. So one thing we can understand is that the percentage change between these two figures, that is what coming out over here is 50%. So we should know that in 3 years, okay, there is a change of 50%. So this is not the 50% rate of interest per annum, right? It is the percentage change for 3 years, right? So what we can understand is whatever principal you had, if you had calculated 50% of that principal or the investment what you had, it would amount to 10,000 because that is the interest what you are getting in the 3 years, right? So if I calculate 100% of it, that would be double of this, that is 20,000, which is your option number C over here. So it's a wonderful way which I have taught you over here. Please make sure that if you really love the solutions, do like, comment and share to these aspirants. Do join the CAT2IM Telegram information group if you want the PDFs. free material also, and of course the latest updates and the latest information and some motivational stuff also. So be a part of cat 2am by joining the group, so that we can help you in your dream, right? Now let's come to another question that is a slightly time taking problem, but you can expect something like this in the XAT paper, and this is actually a XAT question also. So it's a lengthy one, of course, a time taking problem. So you can read the problem, pause the video, and then you can look forward to the solution right now. So they're saying that how many children we have? Five out here, right? Okay. And see, mathematically also, I'll show you how to do it. So people do struggle mathematically also in this problem, but I'll give you the method with the options, right? So always make sure that options also make sense when you look at difficult ones. So if you look over here, we have five children and they have different weights. So let me assume the lowest is A, and then B, you have C, D, and E. Now what they've given is these are the weights they have made pairwise, okay? So you have five children. If you use basic PNC, 5C2 would be 10. So 10 pairs we are going to have. You can count also. This would be 10 data, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now you need to understand one thing, that we have five variables out here. So we are going to make some relation out here. Of course, straight away we cannot use the options, but yes, we have to look at some basic first. One thing is very sure that this 35, the lowest weight of the pair, right? It has to be what? A plus B, only the two lowest, right? So A plus B has to be 35. Similarly, if I go forward to this 46 and sorry, 47, the highest, if I look over here, this has to be for the two highest, the second highest and the highest. So that is D plus E. So yes, students are able to do this much stuff for sure. Now this 36 also you can look forward to calculate. It would be, see, if you make the 10 pairs, A plus B, A plus C, A plus D, A plus E, and so on. So this 36 should be the sum total of A plus C. Similarly, if you look, this 46 should be the sum total of C plus E. So people are able to make four equations out here for sure, but there are five variables we have. They are unable to figure out the fifth one. So I'll tell you how to get the fifth one also. But let's see if we get the four relation also. Can we look forward to do with the options or not, right? So we have to find out the lightest child weight. So that is A, right? Now, one thing is very sure, that if sum total is 35, if both would have been equal, let's divide 35 by 2. What do I get? 17.5. So one thing is very sure, that A has to be less than 17.5 and B has to be more than 17.5. Can we rule out option D and option E? Yes, we can do that. Now we are left out with three choices. So you have to pick up the choice over here. So it could be a bit time taking, but I gave you one approach through option, that if you are unable to figure out mathematically the solution out here, at least you can work out in this way. So the option approach is a wonderful way. So need not like restricted to this particular question. There are a lot of questions which can be done with the options, and you can make it easy, right? So what you're going to do is you have to pick up one of the value from here, and then try to see that can you make all the pairs out here given. So let me just give you one example. I'm just using 17 out here, right? So if I use A as 17, let's say, what do I get? B? 18, right? A plus B is 35. And A is 17, so what do I get? C? That is 19, correct? And if C is 19, so 46, 46, if I subtract uh, 19, what do I get is 27, the value of E, the heaviest, right? And if E is 27, what do I get D as? 20. So we have to see that the assumption is correct or not by making all the possible scenarios out here. So there are 10 over here, right? So already we have used this, to use this, to use this. We should be able to make the other weights. If we are able to make the other weights out here, in that case, the assumption would become what? Correct, right? And if we are getting something different out here, in that case, the assumption would be wrong. So if you look at this total, right, 18 and 20, what do you get? 38. So do you have the number 38 over here? No, which means the assumption is wrong. So you have to pick up in this same way another option, and this time we are left with only two choices. 15 or 16 could be the answer, right? So if you pick up any of the choice, right? If all the data matches, that would be the answer. If the data doesn't matches, in that case, the left out would be the answer, right? So if you try in the similar way out, so I'm not showing that complete over here. So if you pick up this option B, right, that is 16, you'll find out the respective values of B, C, D, and E, and you'll find out that all these 10 pairs can be made. So this was a wonderful way out using the options out here. So let's see now mathematical way out also, because a lot of engineers do wait for that. But again, using options is a brilliant way out, whether you are engineer or not, right? So what we could have thought of is, see, you know that what are the pairs we have, right? Let's say 10 pairs if I try to make. So A with B, A with C, A with D, A with E, right? Similarly, if I look at, so any of the weight I pick up, let's say A, so there would be four pairs I'm going to have. Same with what I'm just trying to say that when you make the 10 pairs, right? A would be counted how many times? Once, twice, thrice, and four times. So it's not only A counted four times. You when you add all the 10 pairs, right? In that case, if you look over here, uh, every weight would be counted four times. So one of this equation would be tough to figure out in the exam hall. So four times of A, B, C, D, E. This can be calculated by adding all the pairs. So you have to spend time in adding this stuff. So try avoid in the initial time uh, trying such difficult ones in the exam hall. Of course, I have given a concept of buffer time, which you can understand only when you do check out the XAT exam strategy video on my channel. So in that buffer time, if everything is difficult, then maybe such kind of problems can be looked forward. So you need to add this. This comes out to be when you add the total 408. So you actually now can figure out the answer that sum of all these is nothing but dividing by 4 if I do 102. So you can put A plus B as what? 35, D plus E as what? 47, and you can calculate C from here, right? So 47 and 35 if I do, that is 82. So C comes out to be what? 20. We have to find out A. So A plus C is 36. So if I put C as 20, A would be 16 as we have already calculated, right? So keep following us. So do subscribe. Let's look at the other solutions out here of the problems. So if you look over here, okay, just pause the video, spend some time, and then you can look forward to answer it. So let's understand one concept out here, which is very, very important over here. So if you take any quadrilateral, right? So let's say I picked up A, B, C, D over here, and the diagonals given over here, they are intersecting at point P, right? So I'm making a trick shortcut for all of you. And this trick shortcut you can easily use in such kind of problem. So this concept is applicable for any quadrilateral. So let's say if this area triangle BPC is A, BPA is B, APD is C, and this is D, let's say. So you can use the simple basics out here to make this result also not that difficult. So, but you should know it, right? So it would be handy in the XAT paper. So ABC you have, let's say from B vertex, you have drawn this line BP. So this area is what B and this is A, which we have assumed. So you should know one thing that these two triangles, what we have, they have the common vertex out here. And the base, if you look, is drawn on the same straight line. Now, what I mean by this is if you drop the perpendicular from point B, that height would be same for both the triangles A, BP and BPC. So if height is same and you know the area is what half base into height. So can I say that the area of triangle ABP and triangle BPC would be in the same ratio as the base because the height is same. So this would be nothing but AP upon PC, right? A similar thing if you look at from here. So these two triangles, if I look CPD and APD, again common vertex D and the base lies on the same straight line for the two triangles. So the height would be same. So it means that the area ratio would be same as the base ratio. So my AP by PC would come out to be nothing but C upon D ratio, right? So this is what C upon D. So what is the result we got? A into C. This is the product you should remember. A into C is same as B into D. So you can apply this for any quadrilateral over here. So let's understand now what is this value given to us. APD, that is 27. So which is what value of C, right? What is the value of BPC given? That is the value of A out here. That is 12, right? So this product is what, if I look B into D, and these two areas, they are saying the area of the triangle A, uh, PB, that is B, we have assumed over here, and CPD, which we have assumed is D, they both are equal, right? So the product B into D, when you look, has to be a perfect square, right? Because both are equal. So what is B into D coming out to be, if you calculate, that is 324, and both the values are equal. So this would be nothing but 18 square it is. So the question talks about what is the value of B, which is 18 over here, right? So remember this trick shortcut, which I told you for any quadrilateral, you can look forward to apply. So let's look at the last question out here of this part 3. And do subscribe to the channel if you have not done yet, and make sure that you do like, comment and share also. Now, if you look this problem, if such kind of thing appears in the XAT, how to crack it. So you don't have to do any kind of hit and trial out here to get the value of f of 4 or maybe any other value. It could be f of 10, it could be f of 22 also, f of 13 also, whatever they are going to ask. In such kind of problem, we can do it with ease without doing hit and trial. And why we can do so? Because please understand out here, this input, if you look x plus 2 and this input, these are reciprocal of each other, right? So that makes things a little easy for us. So what we're going to do is we have to calculate over here f of 4. So of course, people do hit and trial and they first write x as 2. So this becomes 4. That is easy to figure out. But they may struggle later on, right? So there's no need of doing hit and trial. First, we can do x plus 2 as 4. So what do I get? X is 2. This they can see without even putting like x plus 2 as 4. This is very much visible, right? Anyhow, we'll do it like this. So 3 times f of 4 I got. This would be what? 4 times f of 1 by 4. And what we looked at putting x as 2. So this is nothing but 8. So we got one relation between f of 4 and f of 1 by 4. Just make one more relation between the two, and the way you solve the linear equation where you have two equations, two variable, in the same way we are going to do it, right? So let's understand out here. Now doing hit and trial, what value of x would give me that relation would be a bit challenging. So what I'll say is, once you made this 4, right, you got this equation. Now you make this part as 4. So let's put 1 upon x plus 2 as 4. So what do I get? X plus 2 as what? 1 by 4. Now this value will not be visible to you for sure, right? So if you put over here uh, minus 7 by 4, the value of x. So that cannot click, right? So once you do that, what you'll get is this would actually become 4, right? So I'm writing over here 4 f of 4, right? This part. And this would become what? X plus 2 is what? 1 by 4. So you put x as minus 7 by 4 over here. So what do I get is minus 7. So now if you look over here and see as two equations and two unknowns, so use the uh, linear equation concept the way you solve. So what we have to find out is f of 4. So the coefficient over here is 3 and 4. We'll make the coefficient of f of 1 by 4 as same. So this 4 and 3, the LCM is 12. So let's multiply this with what? 3. Let's multiply this with 4. So you know why we are doing so. So this is what 9, this is what 16. So let's say from 2, if I subtract 1. So 16 minus 9 would give me what? 7 f of 4, correct? 12 times f of 1 by 4 and 12 times f of 1 by 4 would cancel out. What do we have over here is this is what? Minus 28, and from minus 28 we'll subtract minus 24. So what do I get is minus 52. So what do I get finally? F of 4 is minus 52 by 7. So don't mark C for calculator away. That could be a shit mistake. So try avoid that. Positive, negative, you would definitely have to see. So the correct answer is option E out here, right? So they have the favorite choice, none of these and most of the questions of the XAT paper. So do join the CAT2IM information group for latest updates, latest information, motivational stuff, and free material. If you want these PDFs, please do join. I'll look forward to share on the group itself. And make sure that you subscribe to the channel if you have not done yet. And make sure that you like, right, comment and share if you have reached till this part of the video. Thank you so much.